Let me tell you the story of this chocolate puddle that became known as El Choco. El Choco was born about 2 years ago when my girlfriend's kid was getting some chocolate ice cream out of the freezer. She was making herself a bowl of ice cream, and I don't know what happened, but the ice cream spilt all over the floor. Now, I can't explain to you why they didn't clean it up immediately. I don't know why, she didn't wipe it up. Maybe they were out of paper towels. Maybe my girl was asleep in the other room. She didn't know it. Maybe they were out their way out the door. Who knows? I wasn't there. All I know is that the chocolate puddle did not get cleaned up. Now, I don't know all the circumstances, all the details behind why this chocolate puddle of ice cream remained on the kitchen floor for so long. That is a mystery that I cannot solve for you. All I can tell you is that it was very sticky, it was very crusty, and it had dried into some sort of chocolate concrete. It was going to be very difficult to clean at this point because all the chocolate had crystallized. We were going to need some heavy-duty cleaning products and some elbow grease. Not just normal elbow grease, heavy, hardcore scrubbing. So needless to say, the chocolate stain remained for quite some time. Now, at this point, I had been acquainted with the stain for quite some time. I could have cleaned it, but again, it was going to be very difficult. I left for the road to go out on tour, and still, when I came back, the stain had remained after probably 2 weeks. It had been there for so long that I decided that the chocolate stain needed a name, and that's when I coined the name El Choco, after the Mexican drug lord El Chapo. You get it? I couldn't believe this stain had been left here for so long, so finally, I took the initiative. I got down on the floor with a little scraper, and I carved a little face into it. I gave it 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. What, did you think I was gonna clean it or something? Now that I had given El Choco both a name and a face, I figured it was only fitting that I write him a name tag. So I went into the fridge. We were out of the chocolate ice cream, so I couldn't use that, but I found some chocolate syrup. I put a little bit in the palm of my hand, and in big capital letters, I wrote his name, El Choco, so nobody would get him confused with other large chocolatey stains. Now, at this point, El Choco had been with us for months now, and still, nobody had the courage, the wherewithal, the strength, or the fortitude to clean up this stain. And you know what, at this point, hopefully that day would never come, because if I'm to be honest, I began to be very fond of El Choco. He became a member of our family, kind of a mascot for the home. To the child, he became so much more than a chocolate stain. To her, El Choco was her brother, and to me, he was like a son. As far as the two of us were concerned, El Choco was here to stay. But then one day, my old lady got a sudden boost of energy. She said, "The buck stops here. That stain is getting cleaned today." And we said, "No, don't you kill El Choco. Don't you take him from us." But she did. She grabbed some robust chemicals and some scouring pads, a large bucket of hot water, and El Choco was no more. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. We walked into the kitchen and we saw what she had done. She had erased El Choco. She had eliminated our friend, a member of our family. The child and I, we began to weep. My old lady, she went and laid down and took a nap. We held a funeral for El Choco, a memorial to honor this beloved chocolatey stain. Elton John, he flew out and he sang "Candle in the Wind" at the funeral. It was beautiful. El Choco, he may be gone, But in this house, his memory lives on